again, sharing passwords can be a federal crime. A ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals finding that kind of activity counts as a violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. So giving your password to your parents, that's a bad idea, I guess. An example of this is when somebody uses their ex's Facebook or Netflix account with a password both people use to share. Can't do that. This ruling follows a case in which a former Korn Ferry International employee was accused of using a friend's password to access the research firm's database. Now, some say this is really a nightmare scenario for civil liberties groups, or it's a nightmare, again, if you give your Netflix password to, like, friends and family. I'm just putting that out there.
Gee, I wonder if anybody actually does that. Yeah, Cheryl, thank you. I think that's pretty commonplace, don't you, Megan? Don't tell me if you do, because it's a federal crime now.
I don't. You know, my biggest problem is when you have a community password, if your spouse logs on to watch something on Netflix, he or she can tell what you've been watching.
Ooh. What are you worried about, Megan?
Because all of a sudden the suggestions change. I mean, there's nothing harmful on Netflix, I don't think. But in terms of this being illegal, who's going to enforce this? I guess will the companies start actually reporting people to the feds?
You probably, I'm hoping we're not going to see a whole lot of prosecutions. Obviously, there seem to be a few suspects in the building here if they do want to do that. But I think probably, this question of intent, which was very much in the news last week, we're figuring out the person's intent when they're let's say using email or they're using a password on Netflix. I think that would be very much of an issue. And I would think you're not going to see prosecutions of people sharing Netflix
Netflix should
accounts.
just make like a family sharing plan or something if they're that concerned. Carrot is better than the stick.
I don't know if it would behoove Netflix to put out the image that they're going after their customers either.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if this is they're going to have a rush.
I was watching free on YouTube old episodes of the Great British Bake Off, so I'm sure I was violating some laws doing that.
Netflix gets what it wants in Washington. You look at how they regulated the internet to keep their prices low, buying internet transmission. So
but the question